Hey, what's going on, Lions? I thought I would shoot a very quick video on the bottlenecks to happiness. But first, I just want to show you guys something pretty cool. This is the sunset in Laguna Beach. There it is. That's the ocean. Okay, got that over with. Cool. So, the bottlenecks to happiness. There really is one reason that it's hard for us to find happiness in life, and that is mostly because we kind of bottleneck it ourselves. Um, it really feels like our base level being, our base level existence is in a state of happiness. If you ever have just like sat and done nothing, or watched the sunset, or just like had a workout and you had a really good workout and you just felt like sitting, it's that kind of that relaxation, that sense of like, okay, I'm just gonna be, because I just ran 6 miles, so now I just get to be. Or I'm just like taking time out of my day to watch the sunset, so now this is my time of the day where I can just like be, and I can just be with myself. And it's like we allow it, so those moments feel good because it's like we deserve it. It's like we just ran 10 miles, so now I deserve to sit and be with myself, and I can allow myself to feel good. And it's the same thing with like the sunset. It's like, oh, it's been such a long day. Now I can like put all that behind me and just relax and watch the sunset. And so in a way, we're kind of like turning the gauge on a valve and saying like to our minds and to ourselves that like, okay, now happiness can turn on, or like relaxation, or like feeling good can turn on, because I've done everything I need to do, and now I'm allowed to feel happy. I'm allowed to feel good. When in actuality, this is something that we could just have turned on all the time. Obviously much easier said than done, but it really it's just that metaphor, those examples are just to prove that it really is just the mind that's in the way. And a lot of the times unless we feel like we've done good, or like we approve of what we've been doing, we don't allow those feelings to come in. Like we have a big project at work, or we just said something mean to someone that we didn't mean, or we just like broke our good habits and we got drunk, or we like are eating shitty food. And so we like punish ourselves with guilt and shame and feeling and negative feelings, and actually we're generating those emotions. Like they're not really the products of the things that they're not really the products of the things that we did. It's more the products of our minds. Like if you have a totally loving, conscious mind, and I'm not saying that I do, I'm just saying in theory that if you have that, it doesn't matter how much you break your good habits or whatever, blah, blah, blah. You're always kind of in that background sponge of soaking in love and soaking in forgiveness and acceptance. And from that place, you can actually more effectively do things like create good habits and break bad ones, and get your projects done and everything in just a more relaxed, calm, joyful state. Again, it's easier said than done, but it is possible, and it is a practice. Recently for myself, I've been spending about 5 hours a day just sitting in nature and just practicing this. That's a little bit extreme, but you can do it like 1 hour a day. But it's a very strong practice to just sit and be with yourself, and almost imagine or say to yourself like, okay, I'm gonna treat this as if I was watching a sunset, or I'm going to treat this as if I just finished all my work for the day and I just like did everything and I killed it, and everything's on track and everything is perfect, which it never will be. And now I can like feel good. And you just sit, you breathe deep, you breathe slow, and you just focus on the feelings of feeling good, feeling like blissful, feeling alive, And things might come up that get in the way, like thoughts or negative feelings or things like that, and you just breathe into those and you just keep connecting with them. Which brings me to my next point, which is where you kind of connect with that stressed out, anxious, fearful, depressed, angry, whatever part of you, and really connect with it and really like be like, okay, this is the part of me that's thinking about the past, or that's angry, or that's upset about this, and it's anxious, and it's like gripping, it's resisting, and then just fully be it, like in all its ridiculousness. Be like, I'm still upset about this thing that happened 10 years ago, and like I'm gonna fully feel it in this moment now, and like just like be that petty, be that ridiculous, and be it fully. And then counterintuitively, what happens is when you really connect with that side of your psyche, it starts to release, it starts to like let that go, because we're constantly kind of suppressing those emotions and those things. We think they're bad, and actually when they're suppressed, they typically come back even stronger. So in theory, this is kind of a simple suggestion for happiness, but simple but difficult. So my biggest suggestion is to just do it and just have faith that the more that you sit with yourself and be with yourself and breathe and allow all the aspects of your mind and your psyche to come up, bubble up, be felt, be heard, be listened to. You can even put it in aspects of like higher and lower self. Like your higher self is the one that's trying to feel good, the one that's trying to move towards a more conscious, loving state. And then you got your lower self, which is still fearful and holding on to these things and bringing up these emotions and bringing up this pain. And then from your higher self, you can feel into this lower self. And then from the lower self, you can dip back into the higher self, realizing that they all are you. They're all part of your psyche. They're all part of that one thing, and they're all part of you. So it's not the higher is better, the lower is worse. It's just like, let's bring it all together as, you know, one big aspect of self, and just accept the whole thing. So that's about it, guys. Go ahead, go out there, try it out. And I guarantee you will start to notice the differences immediately, and just stick with it, because the more we distract, the more we live, the more we do, and we flick around, talk, socialize, that's less time spent with ourselves, listening to ourselves, and aligning. And when we spend time alone with ourselves, just being, no matter how miserable and uncomfortable and painful it can get, that is the medicine. That's where the transformation happens. That's where the acceptance happens. And you can almost think of it as like these things are lodged down there, and they're still affecting you all day, every day, but they're just lodged. And then when you sit with yourself, they start to bubble up. So it might seem like, oh my God, I'm doing this wrong, or this is like really painful. I thought this was supposed to be happy and bliss, and it is. It just needs some time to work through the kinks, work through the roots. You know, you can almost think of it like roots. You're just going in there and you're ripping them out, and you're just pulling them. And you're gonna want to distract, like eat, talk, walk, swim, whatever. But the best thing to do is just sit with those emotions, sit with those feelings, and just enjoy the process of cleaning yourself, healing yourself. And eventually those feelings of peace, love, calmness will begin to just show up on their own. And then in a lot of ways, you're not actually even doing anything. These are going into your subconscious mind as you sit with yourself. And so it's more like a background feeling of peace and love and calmness. It's not like you're like, oh, I'm calm. No, it's like, it's just there. And it's really slow, it creeps in, but you stick with it and it will definitely bear fruits. All right, Lions, I'm out of here. Ciao.